My young love said to me, my mother won't mind, and my father won't spite you for your lack of kind. And she stepped away from me, and this she did say, it will not be long, love, till our wedding day. She stepped away from me, and she moved through the fair, and fondly I watched her go here and go there, and she went her way homeward with one star away, as the swan in the evening moved over the lake.
Get out of my way!
You're always so angry.
Caledonia, get back here.
Hello, well, should be live, should be coming through loud and clear. I don't know if I am or not. Sometimes I've spoken here before and I've been wittering on and it's been completely muted. But I'm hoping all is good tonight. I'll have a quick look in the chat and just get a quick check to see if people can see me and hear me. Oh, I'll have to wind the chat right down. Good evening, good evening. Yes, is the sound on? Is the video on? I don't know. Nobody's saying anything. Right, I'm just going to assume. I'm going to assume that people can hear me and people can see me. I'll turn my sound up here and see if I can hear myself. I can hear myself and see myself on my other screen, so it should be good. Right, I've got no agenda tonight whatsoever. I'm only just in. I've been out all day. Oh, it didn't pop up. Why did that not pop up on the screen? Right, did that one pop up? Let's see. No, that's very weird. Oh, my pop-up thingies don't seem to be working. Let's see if I can just make a quick adjustment on that and get them to pop up. Because I like the wee pop-ups. They're always good. It should be working. It was working when I tested it earlier, right? Ah, there we go. The pop-ups are popping up. Right, there you go. Aye, so the first thank you is, hello Jim, thanks very much for your super chat before the live stream even started. Jim super chatted, super fan. Thanks very much, Jim. I really appreciate that. And Rose was on before. I was having a wee chat with Jim and Rose and a few others just before we started the live stream. So there you go. So. And then Mark came in as well. Mark's asked, here's a question. This was just before we started the live stream. Has anyone been getting screen blur, not freeze up on the DJI RC? When you say screen blur, Mark, what do you mean? Do you mean things look a bit out of focus, maybe? Is that because we had an issue I was discussing with, I think it might have been Jim, I think it might have been you. I was having a chat in the comments of another video about, if it wasn't you, Jim, I'm sorry, it was somebody else, about the autofocus problem. In fact, we discussed it in the live chat last week about whether it says AF or whether it's the wee picture of the mountains. So, Mark, if that's what you're talking about, let us know. I'm going to have to scroll through the chat to catch up with that, though, because I'm still seeing some hellos anyway. So, right, where are we going? Let's get through all the pre-live stream chat that we did. Right, here, the first person that came in, well, just before again, Stevie, hello, how you doing? And I even replied, I said, hello, Stevie. There's Barry. Barry, I am well, apart from having a big red tomato face and a wee bit of red stuff here because I've been out in the sun today with Charlie, my elder grandson. Graham Fackman, hi all. Hi for me, and I'm sure everybody else is saying hello to you. Oh, a wee hi for Graham, a wee personal hi, hello you doing? Hunter Beach Cow. Hunter, hi. Hi right back to you. Lynn, hello, good evening, nice to see you in the chat again, Lynn. Oh, I just whizzed past everything there too much. Right, SJC, a sunny, not a sunny, a hot Ipswich in Suffolk. Twice today I've had to wring my pants out. Do we really need to know that? Come on. It's been hot here too, but I'm not going to tell him to had to wring my pants out once, never mind twice. Gerard, good evening, hello, how you doing? Okay, Brian from the Drone Seekers, the Bolters Drone Seekers, hello, evening. I hope you've been out getting some nice footage as well, Brian. I know you have, you're always out getting some great footage too. Right, so everybody telling me all is good. Right, you can all hear me loud and clear. Thanks very much. Okay, that's good. Right, everybody can hear me. Froze? Who froze? Did I freeze? I hope I didn't freeze. Oh. I've stopped. I'm live again. So I froze and then I became live. Oh no. That is worrying. That is worrying. I think it's my internet connection. It's not as great as it could be. Because I live out in the sticks, it can be a bit dodgy. And I think because it's so warm outside, a lot of people are coming in and going on the internet, and that kind of slows it down here a wee bit as well. Right, Peter's asking, is it standard at 144p? 1440p, do you mean, or 144p? I don't know what standard. Don't know what you mean there, Peter. Right, Rod Gunn says, good evening from Falmouth, Cornwall, Robert. Lovely part of the world, part of the country. Yeah, I haven't been to Cornwall for many a year. Right, Graham's asking, do we know if using the drone in high temperatures is a problem? Still don't have an answer on that, Graham. I asked that question, I put that question out on behalf of yourself, I think it was, and hoping to get an answer from somebody that lives in maybe, I don't know, Australia or Turkey or the Middle East that flies a drone in those kind of temperatures. But as of yet, I have no answer. So I don't know. As far as it goes here, I mean, we don't have high temperatures here. I think when I was out filming the video that I posted earlier today, which we'll talk about in a minute, I was out filming yesterday and the temperature was maybe 25, 26, so not particularly warm. And I had no issues. I've never had any issues, but in Scotland we don't get extreme temperatures like that. So if there is anyone who from like somewhere really warm, I'm thinking Australia, I don't know, maybe like some of the southern states of America, Arizona maybe, Texas. I'm just kind of waffling here. I don't really know. Maybe the Middle East, Turkey, maybe the Middle East is maybe the warmest. If there's anyone flies in those areas, could you let us know? Are you having any problems with your drones because of the heat? Right. Mark says, yes, blur out of focus. Lasts a second or two. Right. I haven't noticed recently that problem, but I tell you something I did notice yesterday when I was out flying, but I didn't notice it until I came back in and was editing. And I think this was a user error on my part, and I'd be interested to hear what anyone else has to say. Where on the Caledonia footage, my Mini 3 footage, I had a filter, an ND32 filter, and I had it set to Pro. But I noticed that when the gimbal moved into a darker, a more shadowed area, the exposure automatically rose. And when I moved the gimbal back up into a more lighted area, the gimbal, the exposure darkened to compensate. Now, I thought using Pro mode and a filter prevented that. Is there something I have to do in addition to lock the exposure? I suppose there is, and I just haven't done that yet. But that I didn't like that, because the whole point for me about using filters, or the biggest point for me, was that it would prevent that exposure change that is really annoying. Mark, thanks very much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. It means the world to me, you know that, so thanks very much. I'm breaking up. Jim says I'm breaking up there. Oh, I hope everything's clear now, and I hope I'm not breaking up just now. If I am, that's pretty bad. Oh, anyway, maybe it's the heat that's doing it. Right. Oh, right, just before we get to that one there, Colin. Caroline, good evening. Hello, how you doing? Right, Colin said that you didn't know the difference between the drones, so I just settled down and enjoyed the video. I want to speak a wee bit about that. There was a reason behind making that video, apart from it was a fun video to make, and I want to try and make my Sunday video a more kind of fun thing, you know, like that. So that was one of the, partially the idea. I was excited about using the 3 drones and doing that, and but I wanted to have a wee bit of fun, make a wee competition without a prize for a change. Although I did think about I'll give a prize to the person that gets them all right, and then I thought I don't know how I'm going to do that, so abandoned that idea. But the other reason that I decided to make that video was because I thought this whole debate about the Mini 3 Pro being so much better than the Mini 2, and if you saw a video the one before that one, yeah, I came out and admitted that I was initially wrong, and the Mini 3, I now believe it is a much better drone. Apart from the cost, obviously. But the other reason I wanted to make that video was I wanted to show people that if they can't tell the difference in footage between the Mini 2 and the Mini 3 and the FPV without it being up on the screen, then is it worth paying an extra £500 or £600 for the Mini 3 if you can't even tell the difference in the footage? So that was the other reason that I wanted to make that video, and I think that was justified because the number of comments that I've had. I haven't had time to read all of the comments yet because, like I say, I only got back home just before the live stream started, and I haven't had a chance to read any of a few of the comments I've replied to, but not many of them. But it seems to me from what I have read that most of you, in fact, none of you so far, have admitted to getting all of the guesses correct, if you want to call them guesses. And all of you so far have said that you got at least some of them wrong. So that would definitely say to me that if you can't tell the difference between Mini 2 footage and Mini 3 footage, then the only thing that you are paying that huge extra amount of money for are the couple of extra features that you get with the Mini 3. So you then have to decide, are those few extra features and the different RC, the RM330, are those worth that extra £500-600? So anyway, that was the other reason for making that video. Right, having said that, hello there, Cloudy Nothing. Nice to see you in the chat. What do you mean it's nae hot in Aberdeen? It must be. It was supposed to be extremely warm up the top of Scotland, and just cloud cover in the central belt, which is, well, I'm in the south of Scotland, so it wasn't supposed to be particularly warm here. You're supposed to be much warmer than us. Drone shots, hello, how you doing? Oh, here's Reclaw answering a question that was asked. Aye, it overheats, sucks in hot air to cool it, doesn't work. Reclaw, I assume you're talking about the Mini 3 here and not the Mini 2. And can you clarify, where are you in the world and what temperature did you find that overheating problem? That'd be very, very interesting for everyone who's in the chat, and for everyone who watches the video afterwards to find that out. Because I know that tomorrow and Tuesday it could be in some parts of the United Kingdom, it could be hitting 40, 41 degrees. So if you're finding problems like that, say 33, 34, 35, we need to know. So please, let us put it into the chat and let us know. Right. Dougie is a recent subscriber for Presswick. I was just outside Presswick just yesterday, and I was in air in Presswick today. Not flown for a couple of years and plenty of newbie questions. That's okay. Dougie, that's what the live chat's for, right? That's what the comments are for. Throw your questions in. I always try to click on as many comments and answer as many questions as I can on a Sunday night, but I'm only on for an hour because at 8 o'clock the Drone Seekers International live stream starts, and I don't like to clash with them because they're a good bunch of people, and I'm not going to overrun into their time. So I'll be stopping at 8, but ask as many questions like. If I don't get around to answering it, there are some fantastic brains in the chat that will answer for you, I'm pretty sure. Right, Richard says, what was the ISO set at? The ISO was set at 100. It was very bright, and that was as low as I could go. So ISO was set at 100. If you're asking, Richard, if you're asking me where I set the ISO when I was out flying the 3 drones yesterday, then there you go. Fine, Jim, thanks. I don't seem to be breaking up now. Right. Yo, Bobby, greetings for Kelly. Oh, Scott, whereabouts in Kelly? I've lived in quite a few different places in Kelly. Be interesting to know whereabouts are you from. All right. Right, here, Reckless says the operating temperature of the product is minus 10 to 40. This is the Mini 3 we're talking about, I presume. Does not meet the standard for military grade application. Well, it's no military drone, is it? Right, okay. So it's supposed to go up to 40, but what if you noticed some heat issues, what were the heat issues you noticed, and what temperature was it at? And if you don't mind, where are you? Where were you flying? You don't necessarily have to give us your home address, but let us know where you were flying so we can get the answer. Right, for the Mini Pro. Thanks for that. But more clarification required, please. Temple Togs. Finally make the live stream. Yay! Thank you for making your video so fun and interesting. You always have me hooked. Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Temple Talks, for coming into the live stream. Thanks for making a wee comment about that. Thanks for appreciating the work that I do. It's no work. It's my hobby. I enjoy it. I get out there and have a great time. So you know, I like to share what I'm doing because other people are interested too. Okay. Right, Graham says, cloudy yesterday and rain this morning and still no sun. I know, but it was very hot. I mean, look, although it's starting to fade down a wee bit now. Although maybe I've got a filter, an anti-glare filter on my screen. I don't have any filters on it. Right, aye, thanks, Reclo. Yeah, you're providing us some good information here. Thanks, we do appreciate that. Right, so you're in London. It's too warm down here for it. Right, you're from the southwest Scotland. Right, the fan was on a few times. Drains the battery, so the battery's going to run down. Okay, right. It seems like the chat has stopped. Have I gone off the air again? Am I still on? Am I still on the air? Because I seem to have lost the chat. I seem to have lost everything. Let's see. I think I may have. Oh no, I'm still there. All right. Nope. Yes, you're still on. Right. Everyone just went really, really quiet. Wondered what that was about. Right. Because I've got no agenda tonight. I didn't have time. I was going to talk about something though. What the hell was I going to talk about? Well, I can't remember now. Right. You're still. Caroline, you're still on Mr. Tomato. Right, I'll put myself off. I hate watching myself on here because I've got another screen just to check that the video and the volume works, but it's on about a 3-second delay. So whenever I do that, it then goes, and it's quite confusing. Right, so who is it that asked? There was somebody asked. They said they were just brand new. Temple Togs. Temple Togs. aye, please, if you get any questions, just type them in. And because I don't have an agenda tonight, you know, I'll probably get in. Right, I'll skip past on. Do you want to say hello to Neil? Nobby, hello. If you want to keep exposure the same, use the EV lock. Aye, I know now. Cheers for that, Neil. I just automatically assumed that having it on Pro mode, it would automatically lock the exposure. It does with the Mini 2. So I'm surprised that it doesn't do it with the Mini 3. I know that if you're in auto mode, you can use the EV lock and you can lock the exposure there. But I just presumed that in Pro mode, the exposure was locked, because that's the whole point of it. You know, it's the whole point of it is so you lock the exposure and you put on a filter to prevent that. Anyway, I don't know. Right, so I skipped past quite a few comments to get to Nobby Green there, because it's the first time I've seen you chat for a wee while there, Nobby, so I had to get to your comments straight away. Right, no, yeah, I'm still on, I'm still here, so I'm still live. Right, thanks. Right, nope, you're going, you're at it, Scotland by drone. Oh, by the way, have you tried a flight with your filters yet? And are you still kind of working out how to use them, which one to use, things like that? Be curious. But for anyone that doesn't know, Scotland by Drone won the draw for the Freewell all-day 6-pack filters that I drew live last week. Congratulations to you, Scotland by Drone. Just curious to see how you're getting on with them. Right, Lynn says it's still very hot here in Wales. How hot, Lynn? Very hot doesn't mean anything. If you say it's very hot here in Wales and you're talking to someone who lives in the Middle East, they'll be going, I had to wear a jacket and a scarf and a hat because it wasn't very warm. So what temperature are we talking about? Right, very hot doesn't cut it. Right, Derek's got a question. Done a literary, maybe it's just a comment, done a literary waypoint for the A-frame. New time, Saturday 2ish to save time. Want to do the basic. Okay, I get it. So you've already created a waypoint to do the A-frame on Saturday. So you can just get up, hit the thing, boof, let it go, and you want to do the pencil at largs. See, Derek, it's great. Okay, and the pencil is a nice place to go. I haven't been there myself yet, and that is a nice one. But if you just rush away from the A-frame, you're missing Dumfries House. You're missing getting over to that Barony Egger plant as well. If the steam's going up, that gives you a nice wee, So I wouldn't rush. You've got a couple of wee things you could do there if you just take a bit of time. However, it's your drawing and it's your time. You do what you like, obviously. Ed, hello from the 80s. How you doing? Every time I see that picture of Commander Straker, I just think, poof. And it wasn't the 80s, it was the 70s. But UFO was set in 1980, away in the future. So it was actually the 70s. I'm quite sure about that. Right. Neil says, nope, when using filters it doesn't. Aye, but when you switch to Pro mode, that should lock the exposure. It does with the Mini 2. Pretty sure it does. Aye, it does. It does with the Mini 2. It locks the exposure when you go into Pro mode. That's what Pro mode does. I don't know. I'll go and do some tests. But if going into Pro mode with the Mini 3 means you also have to lock the exposure, that's no great. I would rather it just did it. Anyway, whatever. Oh, Caroline, what have you done? Had fun smashing up one of my FPV planes yesterday, mainly glued back together now. It wasn't an overheating issue or anything like that, was it? Was it pilot error? Yeah. No, it was the weather, it was the heat and the wind, it wasn't me. Pilot error, Caroline. Unless you can convince us it wasn't. Catskills Brad says, hey, Windswept. What? Oh, just hey. Oh, hey. Hey, Windswept. And then nothing. But if it's just hey, then it's hey. Right, Scotland by Drone. wee update on the filter. Says, I have flew with them all over a wheat field yesterday. Still going through all the videos to compare. Was heavy overcast though, so not the best time to use the high valve. You're right. It will take you a while probably to work out when to use them, how best to use them. I still haven't worked out how best to use them yet, as you'll have seen when I made the cock up of the recent filters video when I was flying over the loch. It was using the polarizing lens. That's not what a polarizing lens is for. Aye, and here's the thing. When I went out yesterday to film, when I did this sort of guess the drone footage video, I also wanted to, I was going to head down to the coast, because my plan was that I was going to go down to the coast and film a, gimbal down bird's eye view of filters and non-filters, polarizing filters, so that you could actually see into the sea. And that's what polarizing filters are for, I believe, mainly, is to allow you to see, cuts out the glare of the water and see in. Over a loch where it's murky, dark water, you saw that it's not good results. So it was not a good video for me to make to try and show the point of polarizing filters. But I didn't make that video yesterday because when I went out, it was completely overcast. Very warm, but overcast. So there was no glare in the water. So I thought, well, I can't make that video. But I still made the guess the drone footage video instead. Right, 28 at the moment. Ah, Lynn, come on, that's no extremely warm at all. That's just sort of average in Benidorm. You know what I mean? Right, in South Wales, the thermometer is still saying 30. My car temperature always reads higher than it actually is. So you're probably looking at 28, 27 or something like that. Right, done the big house, got a free pass. All right, are you here already? All right, you've done the big house. On you get in to do a free pass. Excellent, okay. Del, how you doing? You okay there? Hello? Right. Reclaw, you've got some interesting stuff. I know I keep bringing your comments up. You've got interesting stuff to say. The RC controller with the Mini 3 Pro, not good. People have heard me talk about that enough. Culzean Castle on beach. Any line of sight failure breaks the signal. Drone struggles badly behind objects. Aye, yeah. But the Mini 2 with the RCN1 isn't great behind objects either. I do have a video on the channel that I made last year where I flew behind a building, and the attempt was to fly behind the building and land and then take off again. But as soon as she went down behind, okay, there comes the finger. As soon as she went down behind the building, lost signal, and she started to return to home, so she wouldn't even land. So it's not just the Mini 3 that has that issue. The Mini 2 has that as well. Hi, okay, John, you need to let me know where it is you're coming to and all that kind of stuff. Drone Six International, hi, Robert, don't know which one of you it is. Could be anyone of you. But hello, how you doing? I'm not going to run over into your time, I never do, so don't worry about that. I know you don't worry about it anyway. Right, Caroline admits it, finally. It was all my own fault. Launch fever. Should have aborted and done some more checking. Delta pilot error, yes. 99% of crashes are pilot error, even when people won't admit it. Oh no, it went off on its own. The wind came in and took it. It just went crazy. No, pilot error. Right. Okay, Neil, he says it doesn't. It just enables you to alter the shutter speed to the frame rate. Sure, you know it's a hot day. Okay, are you 90% convinced? I will need to go out and test it myself. You know, I've gone out, as you'll have seen, when I've done my filter tests, I've gone out with the Mini 2 where I have gone into pro mode with a filter on, and I have purposely moved the gimbal down to dark areas and up, and the exposure has not changed, and I didn't lock the EV exposure. So I'm not even 90% convinced, Neil. I'm not even 50% convinced. I'll need to go out and test it myself, okay? I think I'm right, actually, and I think you're wrong. But you know, if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But I think I'm right. I don't know about the Mini 3, right? You might be right with the Mini 3, I don't know. That's my concern. If it's not locking the exposure in the Mini 3 by going into Pro mode, then that's an issue for me. It does do it on the Mini 2. I am convinced of that. And if you say it doesn't, then we are at odds. But I'll go out and test it. Anyway. Aye, Mark, there's people fishing all the time. In fact, in one of my videos from last year when I'm at Loch Doon, I'm down there were two gentlemen fishing, and I took a wee bit of footage of them catching a fish. I don't know what kind of fish it was because I'm no fisherman myself, but there's fishing at the loch. I think you might need a permit, so I don't know about anything like that. I'm not a fisherman, right? But there is, and also at the reservoir where I fly sometimes, there's fish in there, but it's stocked. They stock it with trout, I think it is. Brown trout, maybe, I don't know. You need a permit. It's a tenner, I think it is, to fish all day from the I think it's the New Cumnock Angling Association or something. I don't know. You can look it up. That's at Afton Reservoir. So yeah, there's fishing at all of the lochs everywhere I go. I don't know much about the fishing thing. I've never caught a fish in my life. I've been fishing once and I didn't catch anything and I was bored. I was a kid and I've never done it since. Right, Dell says, I got my Mini 3 on Friday, flew today, so impressed. The difference over my Mini 2 is noticeable. I went for the standard controller. I think you made a wise move. The RM330, the RC controller with the Mini 3. I've beat that dead horse to death about how it's not that I don't like it. It's a good little RC. It's a good control. It's very convenient. No setup time. But with the RCN1 that comes with the Mini 2, it's hardly any setup time either. What's an extra 30 seconds to plug your phone in? That's not much extra setup time, and that's more reliable. So I'm not going to continue to flog that dead horse. But yeah, I think you probably did the right thing. Right. Oh, there's Caroline and the Drone Seekers having their own little hello fest. You just have at it, guys, okay? Right, Richard says, have you tried the Nissi app to pick the right ND filter? If that's the one, remember last week in the live chat, I told you that if you wanted to get the exact correct ND, that go to the Nobby Green channel on one of his videos. And if you're still in, Neil, you can confirm this. On one of Nobby's videos, he uses some mathematical formula to work out exactly the right one to use. I don't know what it is. I just put the thing on and look, and if it looks good to me, that's the one I use. I don't know what the Nissi app is, Richard, but I will have a look and see, right? Because that could be quite a handy thing. But the way like I said last week, and I hate repeating myself, even though I do it all the time, whatever filter that you choose and start off with isn't necessarily going to be the right filter 10 seconds into the flight, because it's a moving camera. Things are going to change. You know what I mean? The angle of the sun is going to change. The clouds in front of the sun is going to change. The time of the day is going to change. So I don't think there is a set filter. That is the one to use right now, and I'm going to use it, because 10 seconds later, it might be the wrong one. That's just my opinion. I'm an idiot, as you all know. Don't listen to anything I have to say. Look it up yourself, okay? Chris, lovely evening in Ireland. 22 degrees. Oh, that's beautiful. 22 is just perfect, Chris. Blue sky. We'll be shooting sunset tonight in Mini 3. It's going to be glorious. What part of Ireland are you from? And I'll bet you it's beautiful wherever you're. Right. You're coming to Craig Tara. Right, Craig. Okay. If you watched the video that I posted at 4 o'clock today where I flew the 3 different drones, you can see Craig Tara from there. That's only about a mile from Craig Tara. And I think a couple of the points in the video, you can see Craig Tara there. So if you're interested, have a wee look. All right. George, Geeks Fan had done an interview with the guy behind the Drone Assist app. New features coming to that with Drone Flies Mine. Good information, George. There you go. The Drone Assist app. I haven't used it for a long time because I fly in areas that are very familiar to me, and I've got other apps that I use. My voice is starting to go already. Hear this? Listen to this. It must be the rum and coke that's doing it. Right, Gerard says, if you fly in 22 degrees air temp, that's not the temp, that's directly hitting the drone. So you need to be careful of that. Aye, okay, but you're also... yeah. So is the air temperature higher or lower than 22 degrees? If the temperature is 22 degrees, is the air temperature going to be higher or lower than that? I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist. Right, you need to do a video fishing with your drone. You know, I did consider that. And I do have on the channel, for anyone that's interested in how much weight can the Mini 2 carry. I haven't done it with the Mini 3 yet, but if anyone's interested in how much weight the Mini 2 can carry, I have a video on the channel where I made this little kind of device and attached the device to Lassie, and as she was hovering, I added fishing weights one at a time until she eventually couldn't stay in the air anymore, to find out just how much weight could she carry. So that would be quite interesting if you can work out what size of fish you're going to catch, right? The video, I can't remember what it's called, but the thumbnail is a picture of the Ukrainian flag above the Russian flag, and there's a picture of a drone with a bomb on it. And I think the video is called something like, Can a drone carry a bomb over Russia, or something like that. So if you want to know how much weight the mini drone can carry, go and have a look at that video. You can listen to anyone else telling you how much they can carry officially. If you want to see it in real life and actually see it happening, go and watch my video. Also, interestingly, on that video as well, you will see me, I fly the drone without it's the Mini 2 with the RCN1, and I don't connect a phone to it. I've got no phone, no iPad, nothing connected to it, and still fly it, because you don't need a phone or any device connected to the RCN1 to fly it. You'll just have to make sure that it's always in visual line of sight, and I'm sure all of you always do fly in visual line of sight anyway, but obviously, if it goes out of visual line of sight, you'll have to hit the return to home button, because you won't be able to see it on the screen. Right, sorry late, Fish Diaries, but you're here. That's what counts. You're here. You're late. You're terribly, terribly late, but at least you're here. Right, Dale, you're getting a lot of comments up tonight, aren't you? Robert, will you be doing any more of the videos you did a while back where you explore an area of Scotland and talk about the history and places to visit? Yes, I will. I've been planning it for quite a while now, but I work 5 days a week as well, and it's trying to fit it in around that. And I've had to use a bit of holiday time up because my car broke, and I had to take time off because I couldn't travel back and forth to work. So yeah, I do want to do that again. I really enjoy doing those videos, although they don't do well on the channel at all. I mean, I get a couple of hundred views at the most. And those videos take the most time to plan, prepare, and to go out and actually film, and then to edit. They take weeks and weeks of planning and preparing and filming and editing. And they only return a couple hundred views. So I also have to consider, the majority of the people that watch the channel, what do they want to see, as well as doing the stuff that I enjoy. But yes, I do. I've got a great story lined up about a Spitfire that crashed into Loch Doon and has since been recovered, and I really want to do that one. So that's the one that I've been kind of planning for a wee while now, and I will be doing that. Right, time to set up for the show. Might see you there. It's 22. You might do. I don't know. I've got to go and do a couple of things after this live stream's finished. But if I get a chance to pop into the chat, I will. I will do it. Right, Hugo. Greetings from Michigan, my friend. Hugo, nice to see you in here in the live chat. I've been reading your comments over the past few days and responding to a few of them as well. So nice to see you in the chat. Thanks. Right, I will then. You are done, mate. I don't know what that means. There you go. Aye, here you go. Nobby Green has got a video on his YouTube showing how to use the Nissia. Oh, that must be the one that I've been talking about. I thought he had some mathematical formula, because it's a while since I've watched that video. I think it's been quite a while since Nobby Green put it up. If it's the Nissia app, it works well, and it's a good video. It does show you, or Nobby shows you how to use it and how to calculate and pick the right filter every time. But once again, I will say that just because you pick the right video at the time doesn't mean it's going to be the right filter at the time doesn't mean it's going to be the right filter 10 seconds later, because it's a moving camera and it's a moving weather pattern. Okay. It's the heat. Tonsils are melting, more liquor required. I think it's less liquor that's required, actually. It's melting my tonsils even more, but it's nice. It's sweet and lovely. And Right, anyway. Right, Gerard says the air temperature is lower. Oh, well, that's better then. You know, we wouldn't have to be aware of that. If it says, oh, the temperature today is 30 degrees, oh, that's too dodgy to fly. But the air temperature is only going to be 25. That's better, is it not? Am I getting something wrong here? I don't know. Right, Graham says, you saw a YouTube video, excuse me, I'm getting itchy nose. Saw a YouTube video the other night on places to see in Aberdeenshire. My cousin, Helena, lives in Aberdeen. I'll have to give her a wee visit and I can pop in and you can buy me a pint. Noted the poster had drone footage from NTS castles filmed during the lockdown, apparently. Aye, NTS try it on a bit. They try it on quite a lot at Culzean Castle, actually. They won't let you fly from NTS ground, obviously. You can't take off and land from there. And the one time that I've gone down to fly over Culzean Castle, I took off from Croy Beach, which is a public beach. And I had no issues, no problems at all. But there was another, excuse me, there was another subscriber or commenter has been to Culzean Castle recently. Apparently some security guards or whatever came. He was on Croy Beach, giving him the third degree about flying his drone over Culzean Castle. Let me just reiterate, for anyone who's not sure, I'm sure you are all sure, but let me just say anyway, you can fly over anything that doesn't have a flight restriction. And NTS, National Trust Scotland and National Heritage Scotland sites do not have fly restrictions, unless they do, and you check that out. Unless it's an airfield or a prison, they generally don't have restrictions. You can fly over it. You may not be able to take off and land while you're on their property, but you can fly over it, and don't let anyone tell you can't. Just tell them to go away and mind their own business politely. Do it with a laugh and a smile. The best way to disarm someone who's coming up and giving you grief, as you'll have seen from my Ranger video, is to keep a sense of humour and just laugh them off. They can't, there's nothing they can do except go away. Right, Reclaw says, here we go. The DJI Mini 2 can carry a maximum payload of 0.53 pounds or 0.24 kilograms. Right, Reclaw, how do you know that? Are you reading that from somewhere? Have you tested it? Because I have. I've tested it. And I can tell you exactly how many grams. I can't tell you just now because I can't remember. But if you watch my video, you'll know exactly to the gram how much it can carry. Never mind telling us 0.24 kilograms, right? Unless you've tested it yourself. Okay? I have tested it and it's on video. So go and watch that one. Right, but you might have tested it yourself, I don't know. I'm just having a bit of fun with you. Right, how much weight a drone can carry depends on the motor power, the drone's weight, number of props, the amount of... Aye, very good, but the only way to know for sure is to go out and test it. And that's what I did, right? Mark, yes, always velos, of course. Although, that's something that I've been planning to talk about, and I don't think I've done it yet. There is a loophole in the CAA regulations about velos, and I have it. I have it. Damn, I don't, because I was so late in, I didn't have time to prepare it. I will speak about that in next week's live stream. Brain fart. In next week's live stream, there's a loophole about velos, right? And it's concerning B velos. And it's going to make a few people go, oh, really? So before I get to some more chat, Graham, thanks very much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. You know how much it means to me, especially in weather like this where the fuel is evaporating almost as fast as you're putting it in. For every tenner you put in, about three quid evaporates before you've even get the lid shut. So thanks, I really appreciate that. Right, well, someone can see it. Aye, it's in visual line of sight, just maybe not in visual line of sight of the operator. That's not the loophole I've found. I didn't find it. Someone else found it, and I've got it here. So I'll do a bit more research reading on it, and I'll show it next Sunday on the live stream, and we'll discuss it then. That'll be the topic for discussion, right? Aye, the Spitfire one. It's actually all of the story ones and the historic videos that I've done. It's my wife that has come up with the research and come up with the idea, and she's come to me and says, "Look, I've got a good idea for a video here, a good story, and that's a bit of history." So she found this out about the Spitfire that landed and crashed in Lockdown as well, and the Spitfire has been pulled out and is now in a museum, a local museum. So I'm going to tie all that in and go there as well and do some footage filming and stuff. So it'll be a good one. I'm looking forward to that. Should be good, right? You are on, right? Don't know who's on. I don't know if it's me, but it's someone on here. It's not. The beverage is it's cola, yes, and there's something in it. There's something. Prize for anyone who can guess. No prize. Although I've got a few giveaways coming up. Just waiting on some stuff coming in. I won't speak about it just now. It was me. So it was you that had the wee Barney with the folk doing it at Culzean. Public land, Scottish heritage. He lived through it fluttering on the beach. Did he? Used a phone to police. Right, okay, fair enough. Right, okay, Dale, you're off. Right, no bother. What's the time? Right, 1:45. Still plenty of time here. Right, Border Drone Seekers, NTS, St Abbs Head Nature Reserve are okay about drones as long as you get permission from them first. What they're okay about you taking off and landing from the land, that's fine. That's nice of them. If you're saying that they're okay about you flying over the land, they've got no choice about it, whether they're okay with it or not. They don't get to choose who flies over the land. But if you're saying that if you apply to them or asking for permission to take off and land and they're okay with it, then that's good. I'm not going to give them any particular kudos for that. You know, that's how it should be. You know, no one should prevent you from taking off on the land because it's not causing any harm. Anyway, I'm not going to get into a heated debate about it. Right. Oh, good evening. Good evening at nearly 10 to 8. Are you just in? Were you at a wee barbecue? Aye. There's been a lot of barbecues on just now. The smell of them. Oh man, I just want to sink my teeth into a big hamburger. Right. The weight will be legal policies. They can't you suing them. Aye, don't know what you're talking about. Well, possibly. Right, I've heard of that BVLOS. Will be interesting to hear about. Aye, well, BVLOS just means beyond visual line of sight, right? VLOS, visual line of sight. BVLOS is beyond visual line of sight. That means when, you can't see the drone anymore. And everyone is of the opinion, because the regulations state that you cannot fly BVLOS. You can only fly VLOS. But there's a loophole in the CAA regulations. Aye, and it is interesting. So I will talk about that next week, because I'll get to next week. So I don't want to say too much just now, because I may say a few things, I may get mixed up with a few things, and I don't want to do that. I want to be correct in everything I say, and I'm not 100% sure on everything at the moment. Although I am pretty sure that it's a massive loophole. Anyway, right. Right, you worked with Nats for 3. I know them, they know me, I know the rules. Aye, rules as of where you can fly. Aye. Yeah, you can fly anywhere that isn't a restricted zone, as far as I'm aware. And I do. Doogie says, can I use an iPad or similar tablet with the RM330 controller? No, it's got a screen on it. And does the RM controller's screen turn off or what? No, how would you connect it? What are you talking about, connecting through the USB? The USB-C slot? No. Unless there's been an update recently. You can't. As far as I'm aware, you can't. I'll do a check again, but no, I don't think you can, because it has a built-in screen. You can't connect another screen to it. Has someone found can you do this? Is this a new thing? I don't think you can. No, as far as I'm aware, you can't. Right, so that's everybody in the chat finished. It's 2:15. But it looks like it's 10 to. Might be finishing a bit early tonight, because I had no agenda. I've got nothing left to talk about. Okay, nothing else. So if there's any final questions before we wrap this one up, and that means that I might actually, if we do wrap up a bit early, I might be able to go finish off the couple of things I need and get into the Drone Seekers International chat. If you haven't been to Drone Seekers before, you can pop over there and have a wee look at their live chat. It's quite lively. They have a guest on every week, a different guest who will talk about their aspect of drone flying, and it's always quite interesting. So you can pop in there if you want. I know quite a few of the people who are in this live stream then go to that one afterwards. I'll hit that over there. Right, well, if that's everything from everybody, and I think it is, I don't think there's anything left here. Oh, Tanya pops in just as we're about to finish up. Tanya, hello, how are you doing there? Right, okay. A shout out of the classic DJI Tello drone, which I have given to my nephew, so it's hooked now. I'll be right behind you. Thanks very much, that Temple Dogs. Here's another thing, right, talking about giving to your nephew. For those of you who haven't seen a video I posted a wee while back and have a Mini 2, check out the Maven app, the geofencing on the Maven app. Whenever I go out and I let either of my grandkids fly my Mini 2, I always use the Maven app, and I set up a geofence which restricts you can set the area that they fly in, and you can set the lower height and the upper height, so they can't go above a certain height and they can't go below a certain height. So for example, if you take them to a park, and if there's a swing park, you can set the minimum height that they come down to 20 feet, so they can't come down into the park, and you can set the maximum height to maybe 100 feet, and then you can set the parameters within the park so they can't fly beyond it. It's the Maven app, and it's the geofence, and it's fantastic if you get young kids that you want to give a shot of of your drone. Right, you had an encounter with a scorpion this morning. Oh no, I hope you're alright. I mean, I've seen movies where people have died when that's happened. Right. You think it's whiskey, some people think it's rum. It's actually it is a bit, it is whiskey actually. It's no rum. And I don't normally have it with Coke, but I was quite thirsty and I wanted to wash it down, right? Daniel Gillett is Marcus Crawford's best pal. Marcus is from the Drone Seekers International. There you go. Scorpions on the Ardrossan to Seymour Road. Really? Scorpions in Scotland? Oh my God. Right, Gerard, when I say a geofenced area, what I'm talking about is on the Maven app, you can create your own geofence wherever. You know, and what I meant by that is that if you want to give your drone to a young kid to fly, but you're worried about them crashing, in the Maven app, you can create a geofence they cannot fly outside, and the geofence isn't just 2-dimensional, it's 3-dimensional. So you can set the height, the maximum height they can fly, and the minimum height they can fly, so that they can only fly within that area of the geofence that you create. I do that all the time when I'm out with my grandkids, and it's fantastic. Okay, right. Didn't hear you scream, but if you get a bit stung by a scorpion, that's quite. I know. But listen, it's very, very warm, and I was very, very thirsty. Right, so a wee whiskey and a wee bit of water, it's not going to quench my thirst, is it? You know, so this is a thirst quencher, right? Anyway, okay, that's 5-2, right? So, Temple Dogs, yeah. If you have a Mini 2, it's the Maven app. It costs you a little bit to download it, 5, 6, 10 quid, something like that. I'm not quite sure, can't remember, but it's worth it. Not just for the geofencing, it also allows you to auto track. Watch my videos on the Maven app. It allows you to active track with the Mini 2, and it also allows you to do waypoint missions. It's a fantastic feature. If you're an iPhone user, if you're an Android user, use the Litchi app. You can't set up a geofence with the Litchi app, but you can do the other things. But with the Maven app, you can use the Maven app with an Android, but it's best suited for iPhone. But oh no, you can't use it with Android. You can't. If you're an iOS user, get the Maven app, right? You can do geofencing, set up your own geofence, waypoint missions, which are fantastic, and active track. The only thing to be aware of is it won't active track you up and down the terrain, right? It'll only track you as you walk along. All right, so be careful of that. There's Tanya saying, there you go, the waypoint missions are fantastic, and the Maven app, I love it. I do, and I when I'm using the Mini 2, I still use the Maven app when I'm letting my kids, my young grandkids fly. Right, I'm going to wrap up just a few minutes early. You don't have to have an excuse to have a wee gram. Or a wee dram even, Derek. Aye. Nobody needs an excuse for a wee dram. Going to wrap up a few minutes early now, right? So that I can go and do a couple of things I need to do and perhaps get onto the Drone International's chat, okay? So next week, I'm going to do a bit more research, and I'm going to talk about that little loophole about flying VLOS and allowing you to fly BVLOS. According to the CAA regulations, right? There is a loophole, and it's not even a loophole. It kind of says it there in black and white. That they contradict themselves all of the time. So if you were to fly beyond visual line of sight, and someone reported you, and they couldn't take any action against you anyway because it says in the regulations that you can do this. I'll speak about that next Sunday. For the moment, thanks very much for chatting, joining in. Thanks for the super chats, those of you who gave me them, and I'll see you next week.